Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And before we get started, the first thing I want to point out to you guys is exactly what Ford owns when it comes to vehicle brands. It's very important that you understand that Ford only has 3 vehicle brands: Ford, Lincoln, and Trolley. Now, with that being said, let's get right into the review. Over the past 5 years, Ford has been up 40%. Now, that's nothing to really boast about, but it's really, really steady and is really, really good. The projection of Ford is going to reach $20 probably by the end of February, depending on how they do as soon as they release the Ford F-150 Lightning. Over the past year, Ford has done tremendously well at 107%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I was totally wrong when it came to Ford. I remember about a year ago, I told people that Ford is dead in the water, but ever since they started working on their Ford F-150 Lightning, I've been telling people to invest, and it has paid off. Now, again, over the past year, it's been up 107%. The past 3 months, we're talking about roughly 17%. The past month, 18%. The past week, 3%. And then today in the pre-market is roughly around 9% or so, because we don't understand that Ford yesterday went up to around 8.7, about 9%. So Ford is doing very, very well. Now, I'm not going to beat the head in the water here when I'm talking about, you already know where Ford is. Don't forget about Lincoln falls under Ford. But the big news when it comes to Ford is their EV release of their Ford F-150. Now, there's something to tell you guys when it comes to information. Now, Ford has always been known of giving dividends. Lately, Ford has not been giving dividends, but there is news that they will be paying dividends on December 1st. They're paying 10 cents a share when it comes to their dividends. And I know some of you who are probably new at investing, you're like, well, 10 cents on a $17 share is absolutely no money. But the thing about it is the accumulation of stocks. And I'm going to show you that when I look at my portfolio after the stock review. But nonetheless, let's get back into it, because it's important that you understand why Ford has been doing so well. Now, if we look at right here, it's because that the market projected Ford not to do so well, and Ford actually is beating the market. Ford reported adjusted earnings per share at 51 cents versus what the market predict 27 cents expected based on average analyst estimates compiled by Refinitiv. Now, its automotive revenue was around $33.21 billion versus the expectations of $32.54 billion. Its net income for the fourth quarter is $1.8 billion, but is down from last year around 25%. And we understand that, ladies and gentlemen, because we're living in a pandemic and no one was really trying to buy vehicles then. Now, the shortage of microchips are also hurting other vehicle car makers because they can't produce in the same amount. And that shortage, believe it or not, has been happening ever since the pandemic. The pandemic has affected more than we actually realize until we actually go out and try to acquire or buy some of these products. And when it comes to anything that has a microchip or a semiconductor, then those markets are being affected. Now, with that being said, it's looking good. Ford future is looking good, okay? And they're back and they're ready to attack the market. We're looking at midterm and long-term, according to Yahoo Finance, that it's has a trajectory of going up. Now, let me show you some analytics here that you guys can look at on your own. You just go to Yahoo Finance and you type in your favorite stock, and guess what? It's going to give you the recommendation trends, and this can kind of help you to gauge the market, how the market is actually performing. Right here, we see in August that Ford was at a hold at 10, buy at 5, and a strong buy at 5. So we can say buy at 10 as well. So it's about equal there, but no one is saying sell Ford. No one is saying that Ford is underperforming. We look at September, we have roughly the same numbers. And then we look at October. I don't know what occurred during the middle part of October, but we're looking at hold, right? But now people are saying buy. Now we go over to Zacks predictions. We're looking at Zacks saying sell at 4, but wait, there's more. Their sales scores are a contradiction of the Zacks ranking. We're saying A for value, C for growth, D for momentum, but a total VGM of B. So in my opinion, these are one of those stocks that you buy and hold regardless, and you buy a large sum. A buddy of mine, he has probably around 200 to 300 of Ford shares, and I think he bought these shares around $3 or $4. So you know he's jumping for joy, but he is not going to sell his stocks. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot encourage you, inquire you, cannot give you more information not to sell your Ford stock. Ford has been around a very, very long time. Matter of fact, just for giggles here, Ford has been around since the early 1900s. We're talking about 1903, okay? And mass productions, and Ford gets a lot of accolades of coming up with the first assembly line for vehicles, okay? But there's some controversy out there that Preston Tucker probably came up with it first, and Ford stole it, like they did the seatbelt, the combustion, the moving light, etc. I won't get into that. That's another discussion, okay, family? But again, let's move on here. And I want to show you the vehicle lineup that's in Ford. Don't forget, Ford also owns Lincoln as well as Trolley. Trolley is a company that's mostly over in Australia, for you guys, for your knowledge. But they sell a lot of like Ford's vehicles, Outback vehicles, kind of in competition with Subaru when it comes to those 4x4 wheel or those vehicles that go out like a Jeep or so. But let me give you the lineup here. And I think it's very important that we look at the lineup, because a lot of you guys may not understand how many vehicles Ford has, right? So again, all of these are the new 2022s, but we're looking at the Ford F-150, the Mustang, the Ranger, the Explorer, the Transit Connect, no one's driving that, Fusion, Escape, the Bronco, F-250, the Maverick, that's a small pickup truck, EcoSport, Edge, Expedition, Ford F-350, the Mustang Mach-E, which is the electric vehicle of the Mustang, Bronco Sport, the Ford 450, the Shelby GT350, the Shelby GT500, the Fusion Hybrid, the Expedition Max, the Transit 250 Crew, all of these crew passenger vehicles, the Fusion Energy, okay, electric vehicle lineup, Escape PHEV, that's another electric vehicle, all these other transit vehicles. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ford already has around 4 electric vehicles in their lineup. And the one that's expecting to do the best is the Ford F-150. It's because, the Ford F-150 Lightning is the electric vehicle where the batteries are at the bottom of the chassis, and the so-called engine, where the hood is, they just going to be extra storage for construction workers and people who are on the job. So essentially that speaks volume, because now you have the pickup trunk in the back and you put all your extra gear in the front that you possibly don't want to get wet, because it will be essentially waterproof, right? But again, we have to look how Ford will do in the next year or so. So CNN is predicting that Ford will reach $20 here roughly within the next 12 months, but it's more likely here in the next 2 to 3 months. So again, if we're looking at the stock price of Ford, it's still roughly under $17, and it's time to get in. Now, what's going to occur? I'm just going to tell you, because anytime that a stock is doing well, the first thing that people do is go and buy that stock, right? So what happens to that stock? The major dealers with that stock start to sell their stock, okay? When you start to invest your money, they start to sell that stock. The stock tanks. You sell your stock, and then they buy the stock again. That's what I'm telling you. When you go into Ford, hold your stocks. Good morning, Jerome, and as well as Jermaine. Nice to see you brothers here this morning. Now, as I told you before, I'm going to go over my portfolio very quickly. I'm not doing too well, but I'm doing just okay. And I'm gonna break it down why. Here we go. So roughly I'm at $36,000 now, showing the past year, which occurred the volatility in my portfolio. Now my stock portfolio was all the way up to $50,000. Okay. Now for some people, that's not a lot of money. For other people, that's a good chunk of change. But nonetheless, as you see, I have a lot of volatility in here. It's because I've been shaking up my own portfolio, because I got tired of the stagnant. Because at one point, ladies and gentlemen, I said, okay, I'm getting tired of the volatility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell, and invest in ETFs and index funds. But I say, you know what? I'm still young. There's some things that I can move in the market. So why not? I'm having fun, right? Because at the end of the day, this is the money that I would have blew at the club. This is the money that I would have blew on some. I really don't. Yeah, I don't buy Jordans over. But anyway, I'm just saying the typical stereotypical things that we so-called buy out, that we spend our money on. No, you should be investing your money. This is not spending your money. This is not gambling. This is investing. Now, I will say, when it comes to some certain stocks, when we're talking about cryptocurrencies, some of those could be a gamble. Dogecoin. Some of those can be a gamble. Shibu. But that doesn't mean that you can't make money. Just know that the money that you invest with those particular entities, know there's a high possibility and probability that you won't make any money, that you'll actually lose all your money, okay? But there's a lot of headwind behind those particular cryptocurrency coins that I don't really think that you'll lose money if you stay in it, because they're pumping and dumping. They're using an old penny strategy when it comes to investing. But nonetheless, let me break my portfolio down. Now, on my right side, you see a lot of my options, and none of them are doing well. Now, the options that you don't see are the ones that I exercise so I can retain the stock. And I'll show you what I'm referring to here. So let me scroll down here just a little bit, and we're going to get right to it. Now, here's a Progenity is a option that I had that I exercised so I could obtain what? 100 shares, right? At the stock price. And I'll show you how much I've made off of this. Already, by exercising that option versus selling that option, I've made $128 at 51%. Okay. My average charge of the stock, because I bought in a call option at $2.50. So when this stock has almost up to $4 per share, I'm getting all the profit because what? I did not sell the stock. I exercised the option. See, sometimes it's good to sell the option and retain that profit and go into another call option or maybe even a put option. But sometimes it's good to exercise the option if you see the profitability of the company, if you can predict what the company, well, not even predict, just read the information, how the company is moving. See, when I break down a company, when I break down a stock, and I say, do I want to just do options, or I want to exercise the option to get in at a low price so I can come out with 100 shares, right? Especially when we're talking about stocks that's under $5. The first thing I say, well, who are they in partnership with? Where's their market capitalization? Where's their revenue? What is their EPS? And then I look at their RSI and their moving averages over the course of time. These are basic analytics that anyone could just look at and say, okay, well, this company looks like they're going to be around for a while. So why not go ahead and grab 100 shares, 200 shares, especially when it's only $250? I want you to think about what I just said. I bought 100 shares at only $250. Let me go back. So I think I really want to educate you guys on this because it's important when you want to get in on a stock like this. So again, you see the amount of money that I made, $129 at 51%. Don't get lost in the dollar amount, get lost in the percentage. And what I mean is that's where the real money is, because the percentage tell you here, for every share I've made half the profit of $1. Meaning for every share I made $0.50. That's absolutely phenomenal, because that's why I made $129 and it's still tanking. Let me go back. Let me show you one more just to give you an example, because I did Nokia the same way. All right, Nokia, where you at? Here's Nokia. Nokia has been really tanking. Let me see, in the past year, Nokia has been up around 66%. But nonetheless, let me go back down to my shares here. So it says here that I've only made $23 at around 4%. And my average cost is $5.50. Now, right now, you notice it's $5.72. But nonetheless, this is another option that I exercise. And this, for you guys who want to see what's in my portfolio, I'll scroll down here very, very quickly. I have Neo, Plug, Apple, Grow Generation. Now, Grow Generation, I'm just crossing my fingers at this point, right? I'm waiting for the federal government, other state governments to make certain paraphernalia, to be legal across all 50 states, or at least 30 of them. Because when that occurs, I'm telling you right now, you can say Ross told me back in 2021, October 29th, that Grow Generation will blow up. Because right now, I'm down $550. Yes. Let me see my total investment. Okay. Now, I invested, let's see here. Let me do the math. $620. but it's only when my average cost per share was $39, roughly $40, and look where it is now. So again, I am just crossing my fingers at this point, but it looks as though that more states are making wheat is legal. So that means that I should be doing well here in the next 2 to 3 years. But again, this is one of those stocks I kind of knew that would be rocky. So I'm just going to hold it, right? Back on it. Now, growth generation, we have Tesla. Tesla has been doing very, very well. I'm patting myself on the back virtually. VTI, that is a Vanguard Technology Index fund. That's up at around $58. And look how much money I made off of Tesla, $3,300. Oh yeah, about to be $3,400. Triple Q, only $37 profit here. And then Sundown Growers, I'm down. Blink Charging, I'm down. Coinbase, I'm down. 3D Print, I'm down. Skills down. Squarespace, I'm down. I'm down. Robinhood, I'm down. UNC, I'm down, but I'm up on Berkshire B. And for you guys who are not familiar with Berkshire B is the Bravo stock of Berkshire A, which Warren Buffett owns under the, Berkshire and Hathaway brand, okay? So it's two stocks. One is A and one is B. And a quick story, I used to own Berkshire B when it was $70 per share. I had over 100 shares of Berkshire B at $70 per share. And let me just show you, I shouldn't have sold it. I should not have sold my Berkshire B when I had 100 shares at $70. I know. That's why you need to come here to learn from all my mistakes so you can earn all my money that I lost in the market. That's the way it works, right? Because anytime that you spend your money, as Warren Buffett would say, the transfer of wealth is from the impatient to the patient. Because I wasn't patient. I didn't really see movement on Berkshire B. I thought all the money was going to be in Berkshire A, but just like Google, GOOG and GOOGL, they're in tandem rocking each other. Now, Berkshire B is not going to get up to the hundreds of thousands, and I'll show you that very quickly, how Berkshire A, you're just going to flip your rocker. You're like, what the hell? Yeah, this stock is bank. Like if you own one share, you got money. That's all I'm going to tell you. We're talking about if you own one share of Berkshire Hathaway A, $444,000. $444,000, okay? And 1.82% is $8,000 that this stock rose in one day. Let me show you 1 week. 2.89%, roughly 3%. In the past week, this stock has risen $12,000, almost $12,500,000. We're talking about bank. That's why Warren Buffett is a billionaire, because one share of his Berkshire Hathaway A stock is over $400,000. I digress. I don't want to, sexualize somebody else's portfolio. Look at my measly portfolio. Now, let me get back on the rest of my stocks here. As you guys see, I have VOOO. These are all Vanguard Health. I got Vox. That's Vanguard as well. F-Tech. I have Oracle, Duolingo. I have Snapchat, that is. You just saw that. This is Goldman & Sachs. And I also have Wallbox. Remember, I think I gave you guys this one on Wednesday. I actually went in and spent some money with Wallbox, and it's paid off already. I bought 10 shares at $14.88, and I'm already up 15.73% at a $23 profit. Now, when I hear about when people are investing, and I showed someone this a small little profit that I made off of stock, they said, well, that's not really that much money. And I asked them, okay, what are you doing to earn and invest money? I mean, what are you doing? See, if you keep repeating the same thing over and over again, some people will label that as insanity, right? No, I call that investing. You keep investing and it compounds. You keep investing and it compounds. See, there's this quote out there that even Einstein couldn't understand compound investing. It's one of the 8 wonders of the world, because mathematically, it really doesn't make sense that you continue to invest and the interest compounds on itself as you continue to invest, meaning it's doubling, quadrupling, tripling your money over and over again. So that's the thing I try to teach you guys, is that you got to keep investing over and over again. Start off with $50 a month, $100 a month, so on and so forth. Let me show you one more thing, because I believe that it's important that you understand that I didn't get here by just throwing a lot of money in the market. No, it's accumulative, right? Over the course of time. So let me show you one more thing before I get out here for this morning, so you guys have a great and wonderful day. Let me go over to my account. Now I'm going to show you my reoccurring investments, which I think is very important. Good morning, Primex. Nice to see you. So here are my reoccurring investments, right? So I have Apple, Amazon, Fidelity, 3D printing. All these are monthly on the first of the month, $25 investments. That's it. Power shares, Tesla, Vanguard Telecommunication and Health ETF, and Total Stock Market ETF, Goldman and Sachs. Okay, for some of you guys didn't see the first one, that was Fidelity, MSCI Information Technology, Amazon reoccurring, Apple reoccurring. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You see that I essentially took around $200 and I said, these are the stocks that I want to invest in. And the reason why you see a lot of ETFs in there, because those ETF encompass the total stock market, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and also the New York Stock Exchange. So I'm investing in those ETFs in every stock in the market. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great and wonderful Friday. And I may see you guys tonight for my cigar talk, or maybe it's just tomorrow. I'm out.